Hello and welcome to Chewing the Fat. We've got a great show for you today, and hopefully it can be as exciting as last Saturday's Rose Hill Guineas, where Laser Hawk was a tough winner, fighting off the challenge of the Kiwis. The last week in racing, we've seen all the ups and downs that the great sport can present. The ups, obviously Hortensia's brilliant win in Dubai, thanks to a perfect ride from Craig Williams. The down, and it goes without saying, the passing of last year's Cox Plate champion, Pinka Pinka. We'll be joined in the studio today by Steph Grentel from Inglis, who'll take us through the sales up in Sydney and also talk about what horses they're going to be showing off in the Golden Slipper. But before we get to all that, a very warm welcome to my co-hosts, Natalie Hunter and Edward Sadler. How are you guys?
Pretty well.
I'm pretty good, yeah. Good to have you back here too, Nat.
Oh, thank you. It's a bit sad about Pinka Pinka.
It's very sad of Pinka Pinka. Obviously a champion, she was so popular, and to die like that, just goes to show how fragile these fantastic animals really are.
Terrific.
But it's just been a sad week in racing as far as that sort of stuff goes, obviously. The partial way things ended in Dubai last week when you had the Gold Cup where Fox Hunt tragically broke down, and then the rerun, which sadly another life was lost in that race. So it's just been that sort of week, hasn't it?
It has, but let's not harp on the negatives. Let's talk about the positives. And one of the positives that does spring to mind was the $11 chance ridden by your brother that you picked on the show last week with Danger.
I know, it was good to get up in the last on a Friday night with Danger. Good ride by Tom, so hopefully you can get a few more over the weekend.
Did you have a few dollars on?
No, I was just happy to see you get up.
That's very nice. And what about yourself, Nat? Are you looking forward to the Golden Slipper this Saturday?
I'm really looking forward to the Golden Slipper. Unfortunately, I can't make it up to Sydney this weekend, but I do love the Sydney races.
I must admit, though, I've been doing a little bit of peeping Tom, and I do know that you've got a roughie for the viewers in the Slipper this week.
I certainly do. We'll save that till later.
We certainly will. We're going to take a break on Chewing the Fat. Before we get to all the race previews, we're going to be joined on the couch by Steph Grentel from Inglis.
Austbrokers Bloodstock. For horse owners, by horse owners. With all the answers to protect your investment, Austbrokers work for you to provide the right cover and the best value. And most importantly, they're in your corner when you make a claim. Austbrokers' business is built around relationships. That's why our clients have been with us for so long. Horses are not just our business, they're our life. Why not talk to one of our team today? Call us on 029 570 8355 or go to our website bloodstockinsurance.com.au. Austbrokers, young faces, years of experience.
Welcome back to Chewing the Fat. And now gives me a huge amount of pleasure to welcome our Inglis regular, Steph Grentel, to the couch. Welcome, Steph.
Thank you. Lovely to be back.
And once again, a very exciting time for the Inglis team.
It sure is. Coming into our Easter yearling sale, this is obviously our grand final and our biggest week of the year, so very excited and looking forward to next week.
How are the stress levels?
Oh, I'm tipping the Sydney office is quite stressed at the moment. I'll start getting stressed about Monday when I get there.
Well, you might be stressed, but from a racing fan's perspective, it's nothing but excitement. And one lot that I'm particularly excited about is lot 200.
Black Caviar's little sister and All Too Hard's little sister. I was just mentioning before, we had someone ring up the other day and asked to come and see All Too Hard's little sister. So Black Caviar got overlooked, which never happens, obviously.
And also by Redute's choice, so to just top it all off.
Yeah, I mean, he's a leading sire in the land, and he's certainly been the benchmark for the last 5 or 6 years, and she's a great sort to go with it. We're very excited about having her in the sale.
How rare is it that a filly is the horse that might be attracting the most attention?
Look, it usually is quite rare. I mean, with the stallion propositions with the colts, they obviously command more money there. There's more opportunity to make your money back, whereas with mares, they can only have one foal a year. Stallions, they can have, 200 if they get to that point. So I guess that's how people, when they're investing in horses like that, that's certainly what they take into account.
I was going to say before Quinny rudely interrupted me, you were also saying though there are a number of yearlings that you've been really impressed by heading into this sale.
Yeah, look, we've got some really top class horses. We've got Fox Wedges full coming through. We've got Star Spangled Banners half. We've got a half to Maccabi Diva by Street Crow, which I hear is a very nice type, and a half I think it's a first living foal of Gold Editions by Encosta de Largo, who, when I first saw her, I just thought she just walked like a supermodel. So I'm looking forward to her as well.
A big grey?
Big grey.
Is she grey?
No, she's bay. She's big and bay, and no, not grey at all.
No, fair enough,
Yeah.
fair enough. I loved Gold Edition. I always loved the greys, especially those front-running greys. She was a superstar,
She
wasn't
was
she?
as tough as they come, and we're really excited to have the half-sister, the daughter, and we're, just thankful for Lauriston Farm for sending her.
And we don't want to harp on things that didn't quite go to script, but one lot that I think myself and plenty of racing purists were excited to see was So You Think's little brother. Unfortunately, he's been withdrawn due to the fact he's been described as a wobbler.
Yes.
Can you explain the audience, and by the audience I mean yours truly, what a wobbler is?
Look, I'll do my best. Clearly, I'm not a vet, but the basic thing is there's pressure on the nerves through the spinal cord. So there's varying degrees. Some horses can race with it, some horses improve, some horses deteriorate to such a point that they have to be euthanized. Anabar was a wobbler, Shamadal was a wobbler, and I think Shamadal still does have a few problems, but it just depends the severity and the degree. But basically, it's pressure on the nerves through the spine.
I thought we had more than one viewer of Chewing the Fat, but obviously if Quinny's our audience and not doing too well. Heading in, obviously, this is a massive week, though, in Sydney racing. It's basically a big 12-month operation. They had the yearling sales in Sydney and, of course, your Melbourne Premier. And then the way our industry sort of become, it's all targeted towards a quick return on your investment with races like the Blue Diamond and the Slipper.
Yeah, look, I mean, certainly we are geared that way, but I think there's slowly becoming a bit of a turnaround. People are starting to realise that there's actually more prize money in your staying races, in your classic races. I mean, you look at a horse like Black Caviar, and in comparison to a Maccabi Diva or a Sunline, the prize money is significantly lower, and she's probably she's just a bigger star as them. But because they've won the classic races, the prize money's there, and for her, it's sort of not as much. So I think we're starting to gear back, and people are starting to become a little bit more patient, which is great. And our breeders will respond by breeding stayers. We've gone through a stage where breeders couldn't breed stayers because no one wanted to buy them. But I think we're starting to gear back towards that, which is can only be a positive for the industry.
And as the internationalisation of the Melbourne Cup, we had the first 7 across the line were all imports last year. Has that sort of had an effect on breeders changing their minds?
Yeah, look, I think so. I think, we realise that we can breed good horses here, damn good horses. And I think if we gear ourselves back to sort of looking at stayers and being more patient, I think we'll certainly get back to that. But that is I guess, what happens when all we breed is good sprinters. We do have to import our stayers.
Now, obviously, this Saturday, Golden Slipper Day, and I would imagine a huge showpiece for Inglis.
Yep.
How many Inglis horses are we going to see, and have you got a tip?
Well, I think, the two two-year-olds that are dominating the races this year have been All Too Hard and Samaretti, both Easter graduates from last year, and we're, thrilled to pieces that they're leading the pack. For me, I think Only Bad Luck will beat Samaretti. I've backed Snitzerland. I think each way I backed her a while ago. Blinkers on, that always helps. So that's each way Snitzerland, but I think Only Bad Luck is going to beat Samaretti.
Either way, you'll just be cheering for an Inglis Quinella vote.
Absolutely.
And just for Steph, people thinking of heading out, not necessarily people interested in buying a horse, but just having a look and checking out how the whole process works, what can they look forward to when they head to the Newmarket sale yards next week?
Yeah, look, if they come out, we've got lots of hospitality. Lots of farms have their marquees open, and they're more than happy to talk to people. There'll be lots of trainers poking around, and obviously all the Inglis bloodstock agents. We're more than happy to help everyone. So just pop your head in and ask for one of us.
Sounds like an exciting time again this weekend. Well, all the best with the entire team this Saturday and with the sales. Thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully we can cheer home an Inglis Quinella in the Golden Slipper on Saturday.
Fingers crossed. Thanks for having me.
We're going to take a break on Chewing the Fat, and when we return, we're going to preview all the major races at Rosehill this Saturday.
Welcome back to Chewing the Fat. This Saturday's meeting at Rosehill is one of the biggest race meetings in Australia, with 5 Group 1 races on the cards. The Amy Golden Slipper is the feature event of the day for 2-year-olds over 1,200 metres, with prize money of $3.5 million up for grabs. It is in fact the world's richest race for 2-year-olds and the pinnacle of the Sydney Autumn Carnival. Let's take a look at the market. Starting off with the favourite, who is Samaretti at $2.60, from Piero at $6. Nick, do you think the favourite's got what it takes?
I think she is as good a thing as you're ever going to see in a big race like this. I reckon the Sydney bookies might even give her a little wind to the board. Us battlers might end up getting hopefully $3, maybe better. She's bomb-proof. She can sit anywhere in the run. She's got the acceleration. She just cruises into the race so nicely. So I think she's an absolute special. I'll be backing her, and I'll be having a Quinella with Snitzerland.
Oh, wow.
I think Samaretti will win. The only query for me is it's like she's had 3 mini preparations within the one preparation, if you know what I mean. She had that run at Flemington first time in December, then she had a bit of a break, then came back, the Prelude and the Blue Diamond, then another short break and then into the Slipper. So whether she can stay on the up for that whole time is the only question. You know, from December to April is a decent period of time. But I think she's the best horse in the race, and I really think she should win if she is at her best. I thought No Looking Back's run in the Blue Diamond was sensational, coming from well back in the field, running on to finish second in that race. And I think it's probably one of the better value runners in the race for mine. Earlier in the week, I went to track work at Randwick. Here's what Gabe Waterhouse, John O'Shea and Mick Price had to say. No Looking Back, that was a terrific second in the Blue Diamond.
It's absolutely fabulous second, and she's done really well. I couldn't be happier with her. She's bright, she's alert. Someone rode her the other day, one of my jocks said, I haven't ridden for about 3 months. He said, my gosh, she feels well.
And she's come back from that little bit of a freshen up that she's had pretty well.
Very much so. How do you come back from a freshen up?
Asher Can, a winner of the Skyline last time.
He's had a good preparation, Edward. You know, obviously we've got 4 more days to go, and with 2-year-olds that's very important, but on his work this morning, he's going to be competitive in the Slipper, and I couldn't be happier with him after this morning.
Just take us through that work he did this morning.
He worked with Fox Wedge on the outside of the course proper, and they worked up well together. You know, he's sharp to the line and pulled up really well, so, you know, it was a nice piece of work.
Samaret and the Golden Slipper, how'd she come through her last run?
Well, look, you can only train them, and you can only do what your eyes tell you to do. And she has thrived, been really good here at Randwick. I love my horses here. I've had a bit of joy training out of here. Look, it's been warmer weather for her. She come up here, little spots of ringworm on her, and you know, there's a few little things in her coat, but they've disappeared, and she's really bloomed. Had a solid gallop here this morning on the course proper, which went really well. Sammy Clipperton rode her, 49 kilos, worked with Liechtenstein. They ran half mile 48.1, 35.2, 11.3. According to the clocking men here, that's about as good as they go. So, look, she's sound, she's perfect. You know, she has to peak twice. She has to peak in a Blue Diamond and a Golden Slipper, but I think if any horse can, any 2-year-old is ready for it, she is. So I'm pretty confident about it.
Piero, he's undefeated after 3 starts, and according to the bookies, he's the best of your chances in the race. He came through the top and okay?
He did, and because he's proven on both tracks. He's proven when he won the Breeders' Plate on a good track. He's proven on the wet track, so no matter what the conditions are, he'll handle it. He's a professional. He's a top-class 2-year-old. He's unbeaten going into the Slipper.
All right, just to recap those selections, you two are going for Samaretti and I'm going for Snitzerland. I'm a bit worried about that, though, after you've given Samaretti such a big rap there, Nick.
Well, I'm taking the Quinella with your tip. Snitzerland will be laughing all the way to the bank.
Let's hope so. Okay.
Or the debt collectors, whatever way it'll go.
Bank. Let's hope for bank. All right, race 8 at Rosehill is the Daily Telegraph George Ryder Stakes, over 1,500 metres at weight for age level. Niagara was very impressive last week when he won the Ajax Stakes, and he lines up as the favourite this week. Let's take a look at that market. So Niagara at $5, followed by King Mufasa at $6 and Rangi Rangdu at $7.50. Nick, what do you think?
Well, you're going to have to keep reading to get to the horse that I'm very keen on in the race. He's $17 on the fixed odds, and I cannot believe the odds. Cannot believe it.
Who's that?
He's remarkable, the New Zealand horse. I've got a huge opinion of this horse. I think he'll win the George Ryder on Saturday. I think he'll go on to win the Doncaster. $17 is as good an each way bet as there is on the program.
I'm going to go for Secret Admirer, but only if there's enough speed on in the race. She's the sort of horse, her lesser performances have been when they've gone at a dawdling tempo and when they've become sit and sprint sort of races, which really doesn't suit her. She's a get-back sort of mare that runs home really well, as we saw in the Epsom during the spring. I think, though, a big field, horses like King Nefasa, Love Conquers All, Niagara, they'll all probably go forward. I think there'll be enough speed on to suit her, and I think she'll be charging home from the back of the field. Really like her run in the Coolmore too. So Secret Admirer for mine. Spoke to a couple of jockeys riding in the race, Tommy Berry and Brenton of Dalla at Randwick earlier in the week. This is what they had to say. Niagara runs here in the George Ryder. He must have been happy with his run on Saturday.
Yeah, it was. He showed a really explosive turn of foot, which is the first time he's showed that. So I think the penny's just starting to drop with him. He won very well. He beat a quality field. He's going to put him in good stead for the Doncaster, I think. He's not quite in the Doncaster yet, so that's why we want to hopefully get that Group 1 win out of the way. But he's going to the beach this morning. You see how he pulls up, but everything is going well towards that race.
So do you feel the 1 week backup won't be an issue?
Not Gaze horses. She can always back them up, especially the colts. Are nice, tough horses. He done it pretty easy on Saturday, so we left a little bit in the tank. So, like I said, he's going to the beach today, so he just shit the breeze this week, and he'll be ready for Saturday. Secret
Admirer, that was a very good performance in the Coolmore last time.
Yeah, she ran well, Edward. She's obviously keeps improving with every run she has, and the other day in the Coolmore she ran super. The big weight probably just stopped her. Only 2 horses, of one with that sort of weight, one being Emancipation, one being Sunline. So to run where she did, I thought was a good job, and further improvement on Saturday in the George Ryder. I think she'll run well again.
And she seems to have hit form at the right time too.
That's it. Graham's prepped her well. He's just prepped her to hit her form. 3rd, 4th, and 5th up. So that's when it counts. The Group 1s, and we'll be wrapped if she can run well there Saturday.
All right, let's recap our tips for this race. Starting off with Nick, who's gone with his Remarkable. Edward, you've gone with Secret Admirer, and I've stuck with the favourite Niagara. Okay, we'll continue our preview of all the races at Rosehill right after the break. You're watching Chewing the Fat.
Austbrokers Bloodstock. For horse owners, by horse owners. With all the answers to protect your investment, Austbrokers work for you to provide the right cover and the best value. And most importantly, they're in your corner when you make a claim. Austbrokers' business is built around relationships. That's why our clients have been with us for so long. Horses are not just our business, they're our life. Why not talk to one of our team today? Call us on 029 570 8355 or go to our website bloodstockinsurance.com.au. Austbrokers, young faces, years of experience.
Welcome back. Another highlight of the program is the Group 1 BMW over 2,400 metres at Rosehill, of course. 2010 Melbourne Cup winner Americain is the favourite for this race, and he will be reacquainted with his regular rider Gerald Mosse on Saturday. Let's take a look at the market for that race. Starting off with Americain at $2.20, Managar at $4, Southern Speed at $8 and Niwot at $11. Nick, what do you think?
I think Americain will be returning to the winner's stall. I think he was impressive first up. He wasn't brilliant, but with the run under his belt, there'll be more speed this time around. I think he's clearly the one to beat.
I think you're underselling his Australian Cup run. He was terrific in that race. He was forced from that wide gate. Look, that's the sort of horse he is. He does go back, but especially with that wide gate he drew in the Australia Cup, he had to go back. He charged home terrifically. The race is any further, he wins. It's as simple as that. And I think he'll be winning on Saturday. I do like, though, for the place, Niwot on precedence. Niwot's my pick for the Sydney Cup at this early stage. He's just in terrific form at the moment. And precedence, he's been an up and down sort of horse, but I think he's in form at the moment. And I think definitely American to win, but those two for the place chances. Here's what James Cummings, assistant trainer to Bart Cummings, had to say about precedence earlier in the week. James, looking ahead to Saturday, start off, how did Precedence pull up after his run last week?
Yeah, he's pulled up really well. He's eating up. We couldn't be happy with him.
He seems to have hit form at the right time too, because he's a tricky sort of horse with that. He can be in and out of form.
Yeah, he's bounced back to his best, we feel. and fifth up into the BMW on Saturday. Hopefully he can sort of produce a career high rating, and that gives him a chance in finally cracking a Group 1 and a weight for age race.
All right, let's recap our tips for the BMW. Nick, you've gone with Americane, as have you, Edward, and I have stuck with Managar.
Very impressive character, that James Cummings, as well, isn't he? Speaks well, he's great for the sport. Looks like he's got all the charm off Grandad.
Yeah, I think he's probably got a little bit more charm than Grandad, actually. But no, he's a very impressive character, as is his brother Edward, who's foreman and assistant trainer, obviously, to Anthony. So, got another Cummings dynasty coming up in our time, Nick.
Let's move on to race 6 at Rose Hill, which is the Inglis Queen of the Turf Stakes for fillies and mares over 1,500 metres, where champion Sydney mare More Joyous is the short-priced favourite. Let's take a look at the market. More Joyous at $1.80, King's Rose at $4.80, and Hurdle Myrtle and Yosei at $10.
Look, I think this race is a lot more open than it might initially look. I think More Joyous is a huge risk at $1.80. I know she made a winning return last start, but second up, there's still a lot of question marks over her, and I couldn't talk anyone into taking the $1.80 on offer. At the odds, more than happy to have something each way on King's Rose.
Your horse?
I love King's Rose because she's so honest, she never runs a bad race, and she hits the line hard, and I think that might be enough to see her win this race on Saturday.
What does it mean that the horse is honest?
Well, because they're so consistent. Every race King's Rose has been with Peter Moody, she's either won or been right there at the end. So she never runs a bad race. A horse like Precedence, one week they run a great race and the next week they run last for no apparent reason.
Inconsistent.
Yes.
Okay.
I like More Joyous here. She returned to her winning ways last time at Sydney in the Canterbury Stakes. She was good but not great in the spring. You know, she ran third to Sepoy in the Manicato and then beat Sister Madly at Caulfield that day in the mares race. They had over 1,400 metres. So she has won before, second up. I don't think that'll be too much of an issue, and I really like the way she won in the Canterbury Stakes. This is what her trainer Gay Waterhouse had to say earlier in the week. More Joyous returned with a good win last time.
She's a very, very good mare. I mean, she's New South Wales champion older mare. She has benefited from that run. And she was ridden by her normal rider this morning, who just said she feels great, she's super.
And she seems, she is to me anyway, the one to beat on Saturday and the Queen of the Turf.
I'd have to say that too.
What's her aim for this campaign? Could she head again to the Doncaster, or have you got other ideas with her?
No, Doncaster, Queen Elizabeth. And the Doncaster, those top weight horses, those top grade horses are so well weighted, they're tossed into it. It's become a quality handicap, that's all.
Of course, of Ken runs in the George Ryder or the Queen of the Turf on Saturday. Must have been very impressed with her winning the Coolmore last time.
Yep, it was a good win, very good win. Under handicap conditions, this time it'll be weight for age, which she won't meet them that much very good on the weight scale. But that doesn't always work out, so we'll take our chance.
And still, you must be confident, though, given that she did beat the best mares in the country last time.
Yep. Yeah, she's a very good mare. She's always been a wonderful galloper. Naturally, she needs luck on her side some days, but she's probably performed better this prep than she has previously, but she's in good form.
Let's recap those tips for the Queen of the Turf, starting off with Nick, who's gone with King's Rose, while Edward and I have gone with More Joyous. Finally, race 3 on the card is the Vinery Stud Stakes for the fillies over 2,000 metres. Champion Melbourne filly Mosheen is going after her third straight win at Group 1 level, but she does face some stiff competition here against Guy Walter trained Streamer. Let's have a look at the market for that race. Mosheen at $1.50, Streamer at $2.60. She goes to Rio at $26 and Appearance at $34. Nick?
And as you can tell by the market you just read out, this really is a two-horse race. Look, I'm a big fan of Streamers, but this is a huge test for her. This is an acid test. Mosheen, she has beaten the best, boys and girls in her sex, and she is continuing to do it. So I'm more than happy to stick with Mosheen to continue on her winning ways.
Look, I just think Mosheen's A better horse, and B, at least she's won over that distance. She hasn't run over the 2,000 actually, but she won the Oaks, so you know the 2,000 isn't going to be an issue for her. Streamer yet to be tested. To me, an inferior horse. You've just got to go with Mosheen. The rest of the field are just really making up the numbers in there for the Oaks trial. So I think it's Mosheen's race to lose, basically. Here's what some of the trainers of the outside contenders in the race had to say. In the Vinery, you've got She Goes to Rio, runner-up in the Keith Nolan last time at Kembla Grange.
Yeah, really pleased with her. She's a very progressive filly. You know, every time we've asked her to step up in grade and in distance, she's handled it really well. The race last time was pretty unlucky. I mean, she went there looking for like a nicely run mile and finished up with a 600 sprint home. And one more step and she'd have won that anyway. But, you know, it was a very good effort. She's certainly looking for the 2,000 metres, and I think she'll improve at that trip.
Home runs in the Vinery, 5th in the Keith Nolan at Kembla Grange last time.
Yeah, ran very well. It was only beaten 1.3 lengths, and we think this filly's a filly of a lot of substance. And you know, not thinking we're going to be beating Machine or anything like that, but she'll be hitting the line strongly, and you know, we think she'll relish the 2,000 metres.
Is she a Group 1 horse?
We think she's a very good filly. So even though she's a maiden, she's only had 3 starts. It's a bit of a step up, but we think that, you know, this is a good race for her to head on into the Oaks.
All right, let's recap our tips for the Vinery. Nick, you've gone with Machine and you have 2 Edward, while I've gone with Streamer. Well, that concludes our preview of the weekend's racing at Rose Hill, but don't go away, because when we come back, we will update you on our tip against Nick competition. You nervous, Nick?
Very.
All right, see you when you come back. Welcome back to Chewing the Fat. Now, before we go to our best bets and roughies for this weekend, I want to wish good luck to this week's contestant on Tip Against Nick. But I do need to ask you, Nick, speaking of Tip Against Nick, how did you go last week?
I came second, if memory serves me correctly.
Now, in a 2-horse race, if you come second...
Is that last?
Yeah, I think it does mean that.
I think it might be 2.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that brings me to my next point.
It was 2-1, and I don't even think that one winner should really count. I mean, the $1.20 favourite, All Too Hard, that's... Anyone can pick that.
That's ridiculous. And if my memory serves me correctly, last week he came in whipping around $100 notes. This week
they're in the bookies' arms.
I think they are they?
As Elvis said, return to senders. That's where they are.
It's
there.
Embarrassing, isn't it?
We're moving on. Come on.
It's a wonder too. Nick does love Elvis. He's a few weeks ago, before he got the haircut, he had the Elvis sort of look going.
Yeah,
so.
he did too. You're right. All right. Well, a big congratulations to Michael from Ascot Vale, who last week beat Nick in the Tip Against Nick competition. Now,
this week's contestant too is Travis from Mornington. So Travis is actually a really big follower of Chewing the Fat and a keen racing enthusiast who knows his stuff. So it might be stiff competition for Nick.
That'd be enough to make you feel sick, wouldn't it?
Couldn't be more confident.
Oh, all right.
You know what they say about confidence?
Well, it ends in tears, I think.
It shows people's insecurities.
There we go.
Yeah, that's very deep of me. You two finish this little love fest you're having over there. Can we please move on?
Best bets and roughies?
Yep.
Best bets and roughies,
All right, so let's start off with you, Nick. Who have you gone for with your best bet and best roughie?
Well, apart from the fact that he's remarkable, $17 and I think we'll be winning.
Yeah.
I've got the roughie and the best bet both at Caulfield. Best bet for the day is a billionaire in the lucky last. Broke through finally, but in emphatic fashion at Geelong last start. I think we'll be winning again. And on an each-way basis, I've got Lucky 88, a horse I'm a big fan of, and I think at the $14 mark will be very hard to beat.
So the other horse you tipped before was at $17 and that's at $14.
Well, this way I can get an extra one in there, an extra tip, because
very
I've already
good.
tipped
More winners for
Good
the
value.
fans.
All right, Edward?
I've gone for Cool Grinder at Caulfield, which is race 5, number 2. She's just a really honest horse, isn't she? I'm a big fan of hers, and even though she probably has the ability to go to races in Sydney that are, you know, the lesser sprints, the Group 3s, the Group 2s up there, Peter Moody's decided to keep her in Melbourne for these sort of races. I think she'll be hard to beat. Another honest horse I'm going for as my roughie is Over Quota. Probably not up to it in the Blamey, but at back to this sort of level, race 7, number 3, I'm sure he'll run a very good race coming off a good win last time out.
Okay. What about your good self, Nat? What have you got for the battlers?
My best bet for the week is Rose Hill Race 2, number 1, Pinwheel, while my roughie is Rose Hill Race 9, number 1, Zavit.
Oh, very big odds of eat.
Yeah, big odds.
$101, I think.
100 to 1.
That's right, and I'm excited about that because it's really worth backing.
Well, he's won at a big odds. He's won at big odds before.
He has,
so,
although I think this is like an example of Nat takes on the trainer, because I spoke to Anthony Cummings earlier in the week and he said Zavit would be battling to finish 5th. So,
ooh, Nat'll be playing that right up after he wins at 100 to 1.
Can I tell you that this week, the other job that I do, I got to go out and visit a horse dentist. Did you guys know how important horse dentistry is in even horses that race in big races like thoroughbreds? They have to have perfect teeth, because if they have like teeth that are longer on this side or that side, they pull to one side. Did you know that?
That is interesting. What other jobs did you do while you were out there inspecting those horses?
I went to a stud and we got to do a pregnancy ultrasound test on a horse, and I do this because...
I was actually worried when you said off there you had to have a pregnancy test through the week.
No, I did it on a horse. I was in the right up in there. It was quite an experience. Wrap it up, Nick.
No, I was going to let you just keep going and talk about that.
Filthy.
Well, just a big weekend in racing too as we wrap it all up. Obviously, you got Oakbank in South Australia, Saturday and Monday at Caulfield, as well as a heap of country meetings right around the state, and it's just as big as it gets in Sydney. So if you don't go to the races this weekend, you never will.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Edward and Natalie, for yet another entertaining program. Guest Steph Grentel from Inglis was absolutely sensational. I can't wait to see how the Inglis horses go. Regrettably, that's all we've got time for this week on Chewing the Fat. Don't forget to add us as a friend on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and we always enjoy your feedback and correspondence. You've been watching Chewing the Fat, and we'll see you again next week.